So today we've got a little bit of a spicy topic, one that's actually really important to me because this is what I was talking about before all the Return to Eternum and Fresh Start worlds started to actually manifest and we started to understand what they would be about. But we want to spend some time and I want to dive into these threads. I want to share with you what people are saying, and I want to add some context and clarity to why we're seeing things happen the way they are and what ultimately will solve these problems in the future. And so if you feel clickbaited by this video, I do apologize. It's never my goal. Sometimes spicy topics demand spicy thumbnails. But regardless of that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video regardless, and let's dive in. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being awesome. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free additional greetings and compliments around the start of these videos. Now, I was having this great conversation over on Reddit. That's kind of where this gets sourced out. And also over on the official forums, we've got some really deep dive posts as to kind of the situation, what people are feeling and talking about both online and in game, especially in global chat. Let's start here. This says, my friends and I are in the same boat. People like to point at the numbers and say that the Fresh Start system failed, but this is the first time I've hit 60. This is also the event that got a significant part of me and my friends group to buy the game so that we could all start our own company together. Sure, it might be underwhelming for a lot of people, but there is no doubt this release led to some good stories like that one, which will change the overall perspective of the game into more favorable one going forward. And my curiosity, because I saw this, was like, hey, is somebody coming out and like just blatantly saying like Fresh Start Worlds, that was a failure, etc.? And they clarified, unfortunately, nothing that they've actually seen like on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, but they're new to the community, so they haven't really figured out who's good to follow yet. I'm going to invite you to hit subscribe on this video if you haven't already. Get your free compliment and more. I really am actually uncomfortable with plugs still to this day, always trying to make light of the situation, personally speaking. Speaking of which, I know that I'm bad at saying hit that like button, but I guarantee you that is a massive way of helping the channel and the content out. This is a New World channel. If you guys like New World information or you just want to meme on the New World game, that's what you can do here. That's what we got going on for you. Anyway, let's continue. All of these comments that they've seen have either been here or on Reddit, which isn't surprising. Obviously not getting many upvotes, and that is the way of social media, and unfortunately the way of social media within the game itself. But they'd love to be able to point to a single source, but they just don't have a specific place or know where to go first. Now, that being said, I know that many people, especially people enjoying the game or who've been here for a while, are well aware that most of this is just doomsaying, chasing clout, or attempting to start a self-fulfilling prophecy. Honestly, I think they knock it out of the park with this line right here. We'll just go ahead and highlight that because I think that stands out perfectly. Now, I'm just worried about the silent few in between, the ones who join the game for the first time and then they see chat or on the forums and then they're just wasting their time, and these servers are designed to fail. As far as people who like to point to the numbers that I've seen referencing either have been current Fresh Start populations or the recent merge of legacy servers. From what they've gathered, people seem to be genuinely believe that the server without a queue is already dead. I've actually heard that specifically. And you'll also hear devs, though. This is kind of influenced in a way, brought about by the devs, because they say having a queue on a server is actually a healthy sign. So they even recognize that that's a reality that they face. But they don't want the longest queue. It's this kind of weird game. Like if you're queuing into, I don't know, 50 to 100 people, you tend to kind of feel good about the game you're playing. And this is probably true beyond just New World, but even the devs have kind of said that there's kind of that sweet magical spot on the server that you kind of want to hit. And that's kind of ties into what we'll continue to talk about here in this video specifically. Now, going on, it says, keep in mind, this is all from the perspective of someone who's played the game at launch, quit within the first few weeks because of how hard the game crashed, and returned to the Fresh Start with a dozen other friends. In their experience with the community, it's been lurking on here and talking to people in game. I don't really get to see all the drama, but at least I get to see what other new players would be presented with. And I'm sure other people who are out there are more dedicated parts of the community, like streaming discords and actually in-game politics, would probably be able to offer insights more developed on mine. Now, as we continue on, like, this is going to be a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and sip my tea. There we go. That's so good. All right. Over on the official forum. So I was kind of diving in to want to see what people were talking about. So that way I can give you guys pretty much a couple different perspectives here. Synapses says, hello to everyone and thanks for your time. They also posted a Portuguese version below this one. Now, we put a lot of time and effort into this event. They're referring to the Return to Eternum event, which was also a Fresh Start Worlds experience. So like any other MMO, we forged ourselves in a new community, created new bonds with other players, and are bound to our own characters that we work so hard on. So, it makes us very sad to see the server in this situation. We know that people tend to see numbers and make conclusions, but the reality of what is happening in the servers is actually completely different. First of all, need to mention again, we know that we have numbers, but somehow we don't have activity. The topic here is the intention to make a formal and public to have any other players' opinions about it, worldwide if possible. So hopefully this helps get you some traffic. I'll put a link in the description for anybody who wants to go engage with this post. The way that the server was created with the closed community resulted in a large amount of closed groups being doing the content. So closed groups do not allow new players to join them easily. Also, when left behind by their other groups, players are not able to join the other groups easily. With that being said, the Return to Eternum Overlord server situation, can't talk about other servers, but you can help in the comments. You have a very small of random lobbies for DGs, probably closed mostly other players are playing in closed groups. For OPRs, they don't happen in a very organic way. Closed groups need to ask for half an hour, sometimes in global chat, for that to happen. Also, the quality of the content is terrible. Too much hard side in the winter, probably because it's not organic. Now, this is something that's kind of baked into the core game without crossover play. Now, we do know crossover play is coming. The real solution to all of this is cross-server play, because some people want to play on a small server. The problem is that small servers get cut off from content, like in this case of OPR. Also with the Fresh Start server, and even the ones that were closed to the Return to Eternum, like I said in multiple times, like, guys, I'm on Orifina. That's where I'm going to play. That's where I'm going to stay. I did the Return to Eternum event because it was fun. It was great to be a content creator on that list. But at the end of the day, I'm here with you guys. I'm not going to abandon you guys. But cross-server play makes so much more possible. Streamers need activity to create content. Now, this is true, and not a lot of activity happening, as a lot of the people who are doing Return to Eternum have either returned to their characters or right now going and playing off on the World of Warcraft event, which has the drops, which gets the engagement. And New World is built for streaming. In fact, I've often heard, and I do actually agree with the critique, that like MMO content isn't so magical in terms of like viewers, right? To a degree. I think obviously you see the big games like Battle Royale drawing in a lot of people, but we can probably talk to that in another video, maybe over on Prime, if you guys are interested. But at the end of the day, I think people look at streaming MMOs in a weird way. I look at it as more just community building, hanging out. The stream ultimately is the advertisement for y'all to come play and hang out. It's the better bell notification than anything else, because maybe you're hanging out and not doing anything. You want to come hang out. Speaking of which, if you've never hung out with us on stream, check out the link in the description. Work to Game. I stream as a part of the stream team over there, and I don't do all the time. I usually do Fridays. In fact, this coming week, Friday and Saturday, if you want to come join me. Also, as a random plug mid-video, if you guys are in the Fort Worth area, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm going to be performing out at a Hyenas Comedy Club on January 21st. Come check out the show. Hopefully you guys enjoy. It is adult comedy, so just note that things will be said, and if you're offended, I'm sorry from a personal level, but as a comedian, I'm just there trying to make you laugh. Anyway, so I totally understand where they're coming from. The streamers need content, but also things don't happen necessarily in a bubble. The events has been concluded. World of Warcraft Dragonflight is going on, and we're going to be looking at what's coming in 2023 here real soon. No wars for more than a week. Yeah, that's a big issue. It's a big issue. You don't get the shoutcasting. You don't get so much more that's kind of already baked in with the community itself. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be needing to be addressed. So the rest of this post obviously is talking about, again, the whole post focusing on the Return to Eternum, but Fresh Start. But this is something that I felt like added value to this conversation overall. Now, they say in conclusion, we love the game, but we hate the way that we were portrayed. I don't know why they want to go with that word, but we'll talk about it here. Joining in to help in the event that just left our hard work progress on our content defective server. Since we have the numbers, our server would theoretically be better in weeks, but it's been like this for weeks, and our server has been bleeding hard on content, players, and community. That way, there will be nothing left for the server when to remedy. And we want to save the community. MMOs just aren't about the numbers, and that the game working without bugs. You know, but we feel that we need our proposed and well-deserved transfer or a better than nothing merges. Please save us ASAP. Okay, so those are the kind of the two voices that I want to kind of present at the start of it. I've obviously weighed in a little bit with my opinion so far in this video. And the real core of what I want to get to now is the solution is already known. The solution is already on the way. And the solution, unfortunately, is not here. And when it comes down to this, we know that the fresh start are protected. So they're not going to be able to take the fresh starts into legacy unless that changes down the road. But fresh start can only be merged with other fresh start, even this case. Hopefully we'll start to see them actually merge these fresh starts so you can have both the numbers and the active communities. Merges were always going to happen. We've already seen them happen. And here's the thing. This isn't bad. This is how it is. MMOs ebb and flow, are seasonal, and hype is one hell of a drug. Hype gets people in, that gets them playing longer than they should. And then when that crash eventually happens, you want to take a break. You might want to play something else. For me, this is my best time. This is my favorite time in New World right now. When it's a little bit quieter, when we're just hanging out and we're just enjoying the game. We're just enjoying the content. We're not trying to rush. We're not trying to make artificial goals. I'm not trying to be entertaining on stream. Like, it's literally just about like, hey, we're having a heck of a good time. This is a good time if you're burnt out to take a break. And this is a perfect time to come in and actually make some progress when things aren't so hyper inflated. But New World continues to have this core problem that has been identified, and it's what I was calling out in the original videos. Somebody came in when they were seeing the numbers spike about like, oh, that I was saying that I was wrong about the fresh start servers. I was like, no, I think they're going to be attractive, and they are. The question is how do they age? Because they're going to have to do merges, and then you're going to start having that people have that mindset. If there is this fight that New World and the players are going to have to continue to do for at least the next couple of years to kind of help set that precedence. Like, guys, this is just how it is. The solution is for people to be able to be on whatever server, but then still can play wherever they need. If you could find dungeons and it was pulling from everybody on the server, on your whole data center, well, it's going to feel like you can do the content on your schedule as opposed to trying to find the time that works. Same thing with OPR, same thing with PvP Arena, and honestly, to a degree, same thing for the open world, but here's the real kicker. They have to figure out what the territory system and that system, how that gets managed. And I think that's a very beautiful system to this game. However, I come from Final Fantasy XI, and I wish PvE had a little bit. I know some PvP players out there. They're just mad at me right now just for saying so. But that's kind of how I feel. Now, I'm going to continue to advocate PvP as well. I like PvP. I want to see open world PvP kind of become a better thing. I've suggested something in the nature of setting a hot zone. Like every week, a new zone is literally like where the game tries to funnel everybody for open world PvP. I think that would be a really cool solution to see, but development and game development takes so much time. You want to be able to plan and story point that out as much as possible. But here we are at the end of this video, and I want to actually provide this thought that I'm actually more hopeful for New World than I've ever been. What I've seen in the numbers, what I've seen in the players is that New World, especially with Twitch and more, has the tools and the capacity to invite new players and invite players back. It was always stated by me for like years. You can go look up old videos if you really want to go see for yourself, but it's been stated by me numerous times that New World is going to be a game about how do you invite players back into your experience. And here's the thing. They have Twitch, they have drops, they have a dev team that's having fun. And if they can get the server situation figured out, maybe by sometime in 2.0, I see people talking about update 1.9. We're still in the 1.7, so I think if the next major update happens, it would be 1.8. But I think essentially if they can start to solve the server issues, which they've already pointed out that they're working on, then I think you're going to end up seeing kind of this experience become a thing of the past, kind of where we all sit around and say, yeah, remember when we had to have all these mergers. But personally speaking, I don't see this as a bad thing. I do see this as the continuing thing, and this is exactly what was always going to happen here at this point in time. And the only way for them to have avoided it would have been to completely engineer the game years ago in a different capacity. However, do they have the ability to engineer it in a way that solves these problems? I believe so. In fact, everything I've seen them do, say, and the hard work and the passion they have behind this game makes me a very happy person, a happy gamer to both support it with my time, to sit down and make these kind of videos, and share my thoughts with you guys. So I want to thank each and every one of you. Again, thank you for the over 10,000 people who've hit that subscribe button. Truly humbling. Thank you for each and every one of you who've hit that like button. Sorry I haven't been able to make as much content as I normally been. I've shared it a couple times, but family got real sick in the early parts of November, which kind of pulled me out of Return to Eternum quite a bit. And then my dad had to have a pretty major surgery, but which he is recovering nicely from. So he's expected to make a full recovery as well. So lots of crazy real world stuff happening. Anyway, I wish you all the best. I thank you so much if you made it to this point in the video. Sound off with Soul Nation represents. And that way I know you made it to the secrets call out in the video itself. You guys are truly amazing, and I hope that you have a most excellent day. Until next time, take care.